I'm getting in the prediction games. I'm going to predict how each team is going to finish, who's going to play in Indy for the Big Ten Championship, and I'm even going to let you in winners and scores of a lot of key games that are going to determine who goes to Indy. Let's predict. Before I get into my Big Ten predictions for the season, just a reminder to subscribe. We've got game previews, we've got game reactions, we've got select Sunday live streams. We got it all. If you're a Big Ten fan on YouTube, this is the place to be. All right, let's put it out there. Let's put it all out on the line. I think the Big Ten is going to be really well in non-conference play. Penn State is going to beat Auburn by at least double digits. Ohio State is going to beat Notre Dame by at least 2 touchdowns. Michigan State, it might be a one-possession game against Washington, but they're going to find a way to get it done on the road. And here's the big one. I think Nebraska beats Oklahoma. 2 teams going in opposite directions as far as the transfer portal is concerned. Huskers get the big win, and they think they're a good team. We'll come back to that one in just a little bit. Let's start with conference play. Week 4, Michigan State hosting Minnesota. Follow along with the scores here on this side of your screen. I think Sparty gets it done. I think Minnesota's going to be better later in the season. This is a time for Michigan State to pounce, get a big win, 23-21. Maryland, speaking of Michigan State, they play Maryland at Maryland. Michigan State's pass defense is going to be improved, but Maryland is going to be improved on their passing offense as well. This is the big upset win. I predict big things for the Maryland Terrapins this year, an 8-point victory for the Terps as well that week. Michigan undefeated, as well as the Iowa Hawkeyes. First test for the Wolverines traveling to Iowa City. Michigan has to get some scores late. Iowa can't get it done. Their offense can't keep up with their defense. Michigan wins 24-16. Let's advance to week 6. If you want offense, you're going to get it in this game. Maryland and Purdue, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. 2 really good offenses and 2 not so great defenses. Maryland wins in the shootout, 45-35. So back-to-back wins over Michigan State and Purdue. Maryland's going to be bumping up the rankings here early in the season. Let's advance to week 7. Purdue now, after that loss, getting a little desperate. Season maybe hasn't started the way they wanted it to. Nebraska 6-0, getting a little cocky. In West Lafayette, Nebraska comes back down to earth. Purdue finds a way to get that late win, 32-27. Boilers hand the Huskers their first loss of the season. Week 7, Penn State's going to be in a lot of close games this year. They are. And they're going to come up short in a couple of them. This is one of them. I think Michigan wins in the Big House, 26-20. Next week, week 8, Ohio State and Iowa. You know, I just don't think Iowa and their offense obviously is not going to be able to hold their own against Ohio State. I look at that good Ohio State defensive line, a lot of talent and a lot of depth. Young offensive line for Iowa. It's going to be a rough day at the office for the Hawkeyes. Let's see, let's move on. What do I got next? Oh, week 8, Penn State and Minnesota. Remember Minnesota getting that big win back in 2019? Penn State returns the favor. Minnesota is going to stack up well against these East Division teams, but they're just not quite as talented as a team like a Michigan State and a Penn State. They're a good team. I'm not sure if they're at that East Division level. Once again, they fall just a little bit short against an East Division opponent. Week 9, Ohio State and Penn State. Remember, this one is going to be on the road in Happy Valley. And I believe that's going to be an awesome matchup, seeing that great Penn State secondary against those great Ohio State wide receivers. Close game throughout. Ohio State pulls out in the end 33-23. Week 9 as well. I think Michigan is going to handle Michigan State. I think at this point in the season, Michigan's really going to be hitting on all cylinders. We mentioned Michigan State's pass defense. I know that's an easy target, but Michigan's going to be really good through the air, right? They've got a plethora of wide receivers. Whoever plays at quarterback is going to be really good in this game. I think the Michigan defense is going to gel together. By this point in time, they're going to give Michigan State a lot of trouble in Ann Arbor. Michigan gets revenge. They're going to be highly motivated in this matchup. Here's a big one in Week 10. I think this is the one that sways the Big Ten West in favor of the Gophers. Minnesota and Nebraska. I think Nebraska gets off to a good start, but doesn't play the complete four-quarter game, turns it over late. Minnesota, the more disciplined team, takes advantage, and the Gophers get the big win on the road in Lincoln to take control of the Big Ten West. That same week, Wisconsin and Maryland, I think, will be a very interesting matchup in Camp Randall, because I believe Maryland will have a couple of big wins under their belt. They might be ranked in the top 20 or so. This could be a very interesting matchup. The offense of Maryland, the defense of Wisconsin. I just don't think Maryland can put up those 35, 38, put up those types of numbers each and every single week. A lot of word out of fall camp says that Wisconsin defense is going to be really good once everybody gels together. This is the week they gel together. They run it right down the middle of that Maryland defense. Wisconsin with a 23-18 win over Maryland. Week 11, Illinois is going to get one at some point. This is the week they're going to get one. Just like Maryland gets shut down, I think Purdue gets shut down this week as well. Illinois, the physicality, the defense, at home in Champaign, they get after Purdue 21-17. I got the Fighting Berts coming through in that one. Week 11 as well. This could be the biggest Penn State and Maryland game for a long time. You go into Wikipedia and look at this rivalry. Penn State's dominated. This might be the most competitive game of them all. This will be a battle for third place in the Big Ten East at this point in the season. Penn State gets a late stop. Maryland maybe throws a pick. Nittany Lions hold on 29-23. Week 12, Minnesota and Iowa. This is the big one. I think these two, there was going to be four teams, the quad of hate. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska are all going to be fighting for the Big Ten West lead. And Minnesota going in this game knows they have to win the pig to win the West. Highly, highly motivated. Gophers get the win. Iowa's offense is not able to keep up. Minnesota more balanced. Gophers get the 24-18 win. That same week, boy, that's going to be a huge week in the Big Ten West. Nebraska and Wisconsin, up until this time, with the losses for Nebraska to Purdue and Minnesota, a lot of people saying, well, that Oklahoma game was pretty far away. What have you done since then? This is a big home game for Nebraska. I think Nebraska turns it on for this game, gets the big win, stays in the Big Ten West race, possibly, here late in the season with a 34-21 win. Last week of the season, Ohio State, Michigan. Both teams are going to be 11-0. Ohio State, in an instant classic, kicks a long field goal in Columbus. Maybe a little wind, maybe a little bit of the crowd pushes it through the uprights. Ohio State goes on to the Big Ten championship. Michigan is not, and they may hold on for the college football playoff that same week. Iowa, Nebraska, that's on a Friday. Now here's the scoop. Because of Minnesota's head-to-head win over Nebraska, Nebraska is not eligible. They are not eligible to win the West Division. They don't have the motivation. Iowa wins on a cold and windy day in Kinnick Stadium. Special Teams wins it 24-17 Hawkeyes. We talked about Minnesota. They already got the West wrapped up. And they saw what happened to Nebraska the day before. They don't have the motivation. They're looking ahead to Indianapolis. They trip up against Wisconsin 28-16. The Badgers beat the Gophers. Here are the final standings. I got Ohio State winning the East. I got Minnesota winning the West. And I don't know if that game is going to be as much of a blowout as people would think in Indianapolis. I think the Gophers keep it within 10 points for about 3-ish quarters, and then Ohio State pulls away at the end. So, some key things to look at these standings. Maryland, an 8-4 season. Michigan State, 5th in the Big Ten East. Illinois gets to 6 wins and becomes bowl eligible. What do you guys think of my predictions? I'm sure you hate them. Maybe some people love them. Depends who you're rooting for. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe. Football season is here. I'm loving it. This is the place to be. I'm Big Ten Ted, and we will see you in the next one.